Alright, doing a video from here in my room in Bishop today. Currently waiting on one more package, so it could be 3 zeros unfortunately instead of just the 2, but we'll see how we go. But I have had a bit of a score out of the hiker box. I did find basically a brand new cap from Lone Pine, which is a town I did not go to, but I will happily wear the cap, so I can replace the faded old Z-Packs cap. Scored a full gas canister, so that's always a win. I haven't previously done that well out of hiker boxes, but this is pretty good. Big score downstairs at the hostel here is there was a local guy who came, I guess he used to be a bit of a doomsday prepper, and he came and dropped off I think about 15 buckets of these dehydrated meals. So I have taken what I need out of these 3 packets and I'll put them back downstairs for others. Yeah, that was a huge score. That's pretty much all my dinners sorted for the next stretch, and probably all the dinners for about 100 odd hikers probably sorted. And at another hiker, a friend of mine, I've been hiking around, his family sends him resupply stuff, and he's so sick of these tuna and salmon packets, he's like, does anyone want them? So those are going to go in my bounce box and head up to the next town, because I buy them in every town, and I'd already bought mine for this resupply, but it's pretty handy. And I actually had a similar thing in Kennedy Meadows, where a guy gave me a whole bunch of Nor's rice sides. He just had way too many and didn't want them, and that was all my dinners for the last stretch sorted. So this is my lunches for the next stretch sorted, and these, because they came from someone else, I'll spread them around with everyone else. I've also made a few gear changes here in Bishop. I'm getting rid of my proper legit expensive pack liner just for a trash bag, just to save a bit of weight there. My flip-flops are going because they're surprisingly heavy, and also basically now our shoes are wet all day, every day, and I sleep in socks at night. If I have to get up to use the facilities during the night, I'm faced with the conundrum of having to take all my socks off, and I actually wear a pair of compression socks and a pair of normal socks at night, or trying to walk in flip-flops with that, which doesn't work, or putting my dry socks in wet shoes, which also doesn't work. So I've got a pair of super light sandals coming hopefully today, but they may not come till tomorrow. So that's the package I'm waiting on at the moment. But hopefully they turn up, and then I can bounce these things and send them home. I'm also getting rid of my MSR wind burner stove, which is an awesome piece of kit. And I love this stove, except it's too heavy for what I need. I basically boil water once a day. I don't need so that size. So I've switched to this exact same setup that Nono has, which is this tiny little stove that screws straight on top of the gas canister, and this very lightweight titanium pot, which obviously you take the case off before you do it. So it'll be less efficient on fuel, but it's a lot lighter to carry. I also misplaced my knife somewhere in the last section, so I have a teeny tiny little Gerber knife coming along with me now. Last one was a little Swiss multi-tool thing, like scissors and a knife and a file, but I really only use a knife, and I only use it for cutting cheese pretty much, so that's a little knife coming with me. I'm getting rid of these possum down nice warm gloves because they're great for sitting around camping, but they're not holding up too well to holding ice axes and trekking poles. They're sort of like, because they're just like a fluffy warm glove, they're just tearing up. So they're getting sent home as well, and I've bought some nice warm North Face gloves with, you can't see it in this, but they've got quite a leathery palm on them, so they should stand up quite well to the snow and the ice and the tools that we're using. But that's pretty much it. I've got my resupply sorted here with this brick of a bag, and actually doesn't fit in the bag. I also have a second bag. It's going to be an 8-day, well, hopefully a 7-day stretch, but I've got 8 full days of food there just in case we go a bit slower, and I'm going to weigh those in a little bit and find out just how much weight I'm carrying. My pack has been fixed, but I will go into more detail about that probably while I'm hiking at some point, and talk about Z-Packs and how they're handling it. But yeah, it's waiting on package for my new sandals, and then we can get the hell out of Dodge. So that's it for now. That's it in town of Bishop. Also, when you have an ice axe, it also props the window open very well in your room, and maybe looks ominous and threatens people not to break in. So that's always helpful. But for now, I'll leave it there, and I will see you guys out on trail pretty soon, hopefully.
So we're still in Bishop. The package didn't turn up yesterday, so today is day 4 in town, unfortunately, but it's well on its way, and we should be arriving. Well, it should be arriving this morning, and we can head out this afternoon. It's not such a bad thing. Bishop's a wicked town to be stuck in. It's really, really nice, and there's a cafe down the road where I'm headed now, which is best one I've come across yet. Looney Bean Cafe in Bishop. I love that place. There was a bit of a shaving incident. I did buy a beard trimmer to try and tidy up what I was doing, but unfortunately I used the adjustable setting wrong, and actually shows you first. Morning, how are you? I accidentally shaved too much off and had to take the whole lot back. So 2 months of beard growing lost, but still 4 months to go. We'll see what I can do with the rest. For now, I'm going to get off my phone because I'm walking down the main street of Bishop looking like a dickhead.
Important reminder to always check your gear before you go. I had a strange urge this morning to make sure my new stove actually worked before I headed out into the trail this afternoon, and that was the point that I realised I had mailed my little mini Bic lighter home with my other stove yesterday. So I very nearly ended up out in the woods with no way to light my stove except for my emergency small supply of waterproof matches I keep, which wouldn't have lasted me long. So fortunately I found that, and I was able to go and buy a new little tiny mini Bic lighter before I head back out to trail. So always test your gear. You may find it doesn't work, or you may find that you've accidentally mailed your lighter home and would be screwed without it. Awesome.
No, just tonight, and then we'll come back up.
Somehow we have to get back up over this little wall of mountains here. Lucky someone's already made a trail for us. We got a hitch, and we're heading up the mountain now, in style.
I don't think it's totally legal though.
No. I guess this means the snow is melting.
Well, I'm back up Kearsarge Pass again. On the way back into the PCT. Today is day 65. Just left Bishop this morning, well, lunchtime-ish. Had a 5-mile uphill climb. I've got another call it 4 miles to go this afternoon to set up for Glen Pass tomorrow. Back in the land of the heavy food load. This is currently a 10-day stretch from Bishop to Mammoth via Reds Meadow. Just make sure I didn't leave anything behind. Okay, sorry, something caught my throat. Yeah, 10-day stretch, although I am carrying only 8 days of food, because we anticipate that we should get to Vermilion Valley Resort, VVR, in about 7 days. And there is a small but expensive resupply available there apparently, so I'm not sure what it'll have, but I'll hopefully only need a very small amount of food. I tend to over budget my food these days at the moment, and I am carrying 8 days for what should be a 7-day trip to VVR, which is basically on the trail, not far off. And yeah, so then it'll be just a small amount of food to get to Mammoth for another break. The Bishop break did end up being longer than planned, getting in around lunchtime quite a few days ago. It was quite a stretch before that, so I was always planning on taking a couple of days off, just 2 full zeros. But unfortunately some of the new gear I ordered, even though I paid the super pronto postage, $35 worth of postage, they didn't actually get it shipped out of their business for a day and a half, which kind of sucked. I'm pretty unimpressed with that. But it turned up today and all is well. So that was the Zero sandals that I was wanting, which I'll do another little video tonight when I get them. I'll explain why I wanted them. I did do some, so Bishop has a cool hostel called Hostel California, and it was great staying there, although expensive for a hostel. Ended up staying last night in a hotel which was not only nicer but about half the price. That aside, every PCT hiker in town was pretty much staying at the hostel, so it was worth the extra money just to stay with everyone else and get some first-hand information about what's coming up on this next stretch. We are expecting a lot of snow. So the strategy is to basically stage at the bottom of each pass, each high pass, so to camp the night before as close as physically possible, and then have a bit of a, early morning assault up the pass in the morning, hoping to basically be on top of each pass for sunrise. So we're going to do one side in the dark, sunrise at the top, and which will be beautiful, and then get the hell out of Dodge before the snow starts melting, because that's where the real problem is. It's actually far better to have everything frozen, so your spikes and your axe, everything digs in. Once it turns to slush, it just becomes a slippery nightmare. But yes, at the hostel, anyway, got sidetracked. At the hostel I had a set of hanging scales, which I don't normally care too much about what the numbers are because I don't feel like I can carry much less than what I do. But it is fun to play with sometimes. So this time I didn't get a chance to weigh everything with the new gear I've bought, but I did weigh basically everything that I have been carrying. So the initial base weight, by my definition, that changes, is everything that is not consumable. Every piece of equipment that you're always carrying that never changes weight is not consumable anyway. So that came in at about 16.5 pounds. So that's all your electronics and your tent, sleep bag, all that kind of stuff. But that's not necessarily realistic weight. I'm hoping I got that weight below, as far just for comparing with other people. I'm hoping that weight with the new Zero sandals, the new lightweight stove. I'm hoping that's down in the 15s somewhere now. 15, I'm gonna call it 15.5. I didn't get a chance to reweigh it. There's the trail go.